Hey everyone, it's Ivan with KitBadger.com, out here with my loadout from the 2-day vehicle carbine course with AMTAC shooting. Recently I finished a 2-day vehicle carbine class, which is basically a carbine class as it relates to in and around vehicles, to include some kind of small unit tactics, things along those lines. As far as gear and everything like that, start kind of layers, ground up. One, I knew it was going to be hot, and it was hot. But starting at the bottom, I was wearing these. These I think are the, I always forget them, Trailblazer. I want to say Trailhead. Trailhead was another one. These are by Lems. They did a great job. There was a surprising amount of movement. Not so much necessarily on the range, although we did actually do some like dismount, get out of vehicle, stuff like that. And down on the range, it's actually pretty slick. I'm sure, I don't know if anyone fell, but there's a lot of people that slipped. These actually, they did a good job for me. And then the next day, yeah, stalking on people also did good for me there. As far as pants, I wore these pretty much all the days. I've reviewed these before, and as I mentioned before, these are my favorite. I think these are the Guide Cloth 2.0 Raider pants from Prometheus Design Works. And quick aside, I actually talked with Patrick over at Prometheus Design Works, and it sounds like they're going to do another run in this cloth pretty soon. If you're interested, I would check into it because, like I said, I've had these since 2019, wear them all the time. They did a good job for me. Definitely not, they're not super cool as far as like pants go, but they're also by no means hot, so they worked well. One of the days I ended up just wearing a t-shirt, which it was a t-shirt, worked for me. The next day I knew we were going to be in the sun more, and so I wore this. I want to say it's their Tiger Shark sun shirt by Tactical Distributors. This one, of course, in camo pattern, woodland. And yeah, did a good job. I will say it does not stop airsoft BBs at all, but it definitely is camouflage, which I think actually came into play. Yeah, flanking some people and getting up and shooting some bad guys. But that's pretty much it for the layers. Go over some of the other gear. As far as personal protective equipment, some of the mainstays, these guys right here, which are my Smith Director Elite, Zeiss prescription, ballistic lenses. Things are rad. Eventually I'll probably get something else, but they continue to do a great job. Only needed, actually more on those in a second, only needed Ear Pro on day one when we were actually doing live fire stuff. So I ended up wearing these. These are my OpsCore amps. They're awesome, they're comfortable. When you turn them on, amplified, it's great. You hear all your range commands. Easy day, and yeah, these serve me well. As far as this guy right here, so day two was actually airsoft, because more or less force on force, kind of small unit tactics, again, vehicles and carbine. So getting out of vehicles, deploying your guns, all that stuff. And ended up wearing this right here, which, ta-da, basically just a face mask. Also covers your ears, which is nice. And then I wore this in conjunction with these glasses here, and then just had a hat on over it. And it did well. I don't know if I got shot in the, I don't think I got shot in the glasses. I might have got shot in this face mask, but yeah, definitely glad I had it. Beyond that stuff there, other stuff that came in handy. Once again, set from Fix-It Sticks. This, I think, is the Werx, has basically all the things in it. What came in handy? This right here. One of the guys actually had iron sights, and they were pretty far off. He did not have an optic on his gun. Something happened. I don't remember, as a mount or something happened. So, or maybe he had to send his optic in. So he had iron sights and a maul and a Surefire RC2, but used this to help him get zeroed in, and yeah, everything was good after that. So that came in handy. And then also by Fix-It Sticks, this right here, which I actually used. It is a set, and then there's some other little pieces back here, and it's basically cleaning rods, which airsoft guns, they, man, turns out they are pretty finicky, but definitely use these, punch some obstructions out, and yeah, pretty handy to have. As I mentioned, airsoft. And also, I guess, with respect to airsoft and live fire, I was using this right here, which is by Spiritus Systems. It's their Just a Pouch, and then inside is this awesome insert. This insert is by Lunar Concepts. You can get it over at Wiseman Company. Basically, it is a Tigris insert that gives you space for one AR mag and then also one pistol mag, but wasn't shooting pistol. At any rate though, basically I'd run this on my belt. When we walk up to the firing line, inside this outer portion, I would put my extra mags in there and then have my one reload there. So it worked out well. Green gas because airsoft. And honestly, I don't think I've ever played airsoft, but needed an airsoft gun for this course. So I ended up with this thing right here, which is, who makes this thing? KWA. It's basically a M4, and it is gas blowback. So you put gas in these magazines, throw them in there, charge it. Well, it's empty, so it actually behaves like a gun. So it locks it back, send the bolt forward, bolt catch, bolt release, and then with the selector, you go to fire, little recoil, blow back, and then it'll actually go to full auto. So kind of cool. I think I might have shot full auto once just for the heck of it. But, oh, and then also put a sling on here because that's real, with a Ranger band because, yeah, getting caught in your sling, getting out of a vehicle, also real. Man, this thing I did not like. So in the airsoft world, I believe with this model, like most, there's some way to basically adjust, I think it's called the hop up, basically adjust where the BBs are going. That definitely needs to get done for this because the rounds are just going like crazy, which is really frustrating, especially when you're doing training that, like, if you lose in training, you would have died, which I get it, it's training, who cares? But at the same time, like, no, like that, I'm not okay with dying. Sometimes some stuff's unwinnable, but when I come up around a corner and my pop, 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 shooting someone that doesn't even see me, and my BBs are just going crazy wild places, and then they just turn around and are like, and shoot me like 3 times, like from the hip. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess you killed me. Really, really frustrating. So to that end, airsoft, as I understand it, is basically a pay-to-play thing where, like, you basically need to spend the money to actually get something good. But nice push, Peanut. But it's what I had, it's what I brought, and yeah, not my favorite. Which brings me to my actual gun I shot during the live fire portion, which is this right here, which is the Griffin Armament, this being their Mk2 low receiver, 12.5-inch barrel, and this is their Optimus 6 on here. Also on here, did not use it, but this is by Inforce. It is both their Viz as well as IR light. Over on this side, by 100 Concepts, their quick QD, I guess, or paracord QD. Pretty cool way to attach slings. This sling right here, which, man, I cannot remember who makes this sling keeper right here. I will say the elastic's pretty blown out on it. Probably time to replace that. But that was actually pretty clutch because we were doing stuff going in and out of vehicles, as one would figure. And then this is a baseline 2-point sling right here, as I mentioned, with the paracord up front, and it's just on this Magpul stock in the back. This by Lunar Concepts. And EOTech on top of here. Pretty cool grip. This is one of the original Stoner rifle grips. Friend, actually, they do really cool work. All kinds of grips. They basically customize them. And then lastly, a number of different magazines. pretty much all of them with the die-free company, the Dose Boot base plates, which I will say was actually really handy when we were doing the, well, one, it's always nice to have extra 2 rounds, but when we were actually confirming zeros, really nice to be able to get this thing on a good solid base, just monopoded surprisingly well, like with these base plates. Really pleased. So yeah, ended up shooting this gun. As far as this gun for me, did a great job. Actually shoots really well, especially with PMC M193. Groups really well. Not that we're doing crazy precision stuff, but yeah, had a lot of fun shooting this gun. Coming away from that class, is there anything I would have changed? Nothing on the real side. Pretty much everything on the airsoft side. Again, I never shot airsoft, and it was on the gear list, so ended up basically getting this gun, borrowing it. Oh, speaking of borrowing it, also borrowed, my boys brought 2 of their guns. One was a really awesome Thompson submachine gun. The other one is like a Noveske, like M4. And those got loaned, those actually worked really well. They got loaned to other people, and I ended up with this one, which it is what it is. Like I said, the biggest thing for me, like all the live fire stuff, this gun setup did awesome. For the not live fire, with airsoft, this thing did terrible for me. And it's one of those where honestly it's super frustrating, because you're there to do the thing and get reps, and if you have a gun, it's like going to take a precision class with a gun that's not zeroed. Like, cool, you get to press the trigger, but the bullet doesn't go where you want. And kind of same thing with this gun. The coolest thing I will say is I basically ended up flanking someone, and with these guns, when you go dry, when you go out of ammo, the bolts will actually lock back. And I was flanking, some other guys were laying down some suppressive fire, cruising up, went to bolt lock, combat reload, like on the move while moving up on this guy, hadn't seen me, and then I finally shot him. But I shot at him a bunch, which is how I went to bolt lock, and the BBs just kept missing. And then I shot him a bunch until some of them finally hit him. So again, like from just training value side, yeah, get something good, I guess. But if you're interested in any of this stuff, maybe not this rifle, but there'll be links down below and you can check it out there. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.